A man has been sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 10 years for the rape and manslaughter of Natalie Shotter, an NHS worker he attacked on a park bench in West London. Mohamed Iidow repeatedly sexually assaulted 37-year-old Natalie while she was passed out in Southall Park in Ealing in West London following a night out. The trial heard how the mother of three suffered a heart attack as a result of the sustained attack. She was found dead by a passerby in the park early in the morning of the 17th of July in 2021. Our correspondent Shamal Freeman-Powell joins me now from the Old Bailey. And this man was found guilty a couple of months ago, Shamal, but sentenced today.
That's right, sentenced today at the Old Bailey, where the jurors were given an outline of the case. We heard how Natalie Shotter had been out enjoying herself in July 2021. She ended up unconscious, though, on a park bench in Southall. The court heard how Mohamed Iidow had seen Natalie Shotter on this park bench, walked past her multiple times before eventually approaching her and raping her repeatedly. Now, prosecution says that it was this repeated rape that led to Natalie Shotter suffering a fatal heart attack. And while Iidow travelled home to Hounslow, it was a passerby that would discover Natalie Shotter's body hours later. Now, Iidow's defence was that this sexual activity had been consensual, but the court was shown CCTV footage, which the prosecution says proved that Natalie had been unconscious in the moments before this rape, and that her body was not moving during the rape as well. Prosecution says that this proves that it was not consensual, and the rape did lead to her suffering a heart attack. Now, in court, we heard from Natalie Shotter's mother in a witness statement. She spoke about her daughter being a loved daughter, also a mother to a young girl who was only 1 year old at the time of her mother's death. She spoke about having to now explain to her little girl, who is now 5 years old, how her mum died. And outside of court, she spoke about how she wanted her daughter's legacy to be remembered.
We're absolutely thrilled with the outcome of the life sentence that's been given today.
And can you just tell us a little bit about who Natalie was?
She was an incredible girl, beautiful girl, very, very kind, generous, patient, talented, very funny, fabulous singer and actress, and the most wonderful mum, an amazing daughter and sister to Harry. She's a fabulous girl, yeah.
And obviously what has happened to her has had an absolutely devastating impact on the family. Can you just
So the impact on the family has been absolutely devastating. I can't really explain it. That's the best word I can use. It has been devastating. It's taken 3.5 years to get to where we are, and it's had a massive impact upon her children and the wider family, yes.
And sitting through some of the evidence in court must have been incredibly difficult.
It was incredibly painful to sit through the evidence, but absolutely necessary. But yes, it's been a very difficult time. Very difficult time.
And it's a very unusual case, this, and I think we heard in court that there's never really been a case like it. Do you feel like the charges were appropriate and that justice is now being done?
I feel that justice has definitely been served. Yes, it was a kind of landmark case, I believe. We had the fortunate opportunity to have the most amazing team who were phenomenal and supported us every step of the way. Alison and her team have been truly supportive and amazing to us.
Now, the public gallery here at the Old Bailey was filled with Natalie Shotter's loved ones and friends, some of them staring down at Iidow whilst the judge gave his sentencing. It was then that the judge said that Iidow had taken advantage of Natalie Shotter when she was clearly in a very vulnerable state. He also referenced Natalie Shotter's 5-year-old daughter, saying that it's going to be a terrible task having to explain to her what happened to her mother. He also referenced sexual offences that Iidow was found guilty of after this instance, the instance of raping and the manslaughter of Natalie Shotter. It was at that point that he described Iidow as a monster before sentencing him to life in prison with a minimum term of 10 years and 8 months.